Hello,
Hey!
yay! Who's an amazing human genius?
It's me! 3 times over!
Yes. Okay, I'm going
What
to
a
turn off the
script.
comments. How so much fun. Okay, so I turned off the comments. Stephanie Beatrice, welcome to the Variety After Show.
Thank you!
Good to see you
You too!
under different circumstances than we
Yes,
last
very
got to
different,
see.
but what are you gonna do, man? What are you gonna do?
It's a different world out there. We're making it work, though. We're making it work.
Right.
Welcome to the after show.
Thank you.
Congratulations. You
Thank you.
are, for a third time, an amazing human genius. Brooklyn Nine. How is Rosa celebrating right now, by the way?
Um, I'm celebrating. I'm actually celebrating with my own wine.
Yes.
I collabed with
Yes.
Knocking Point, who does like a bunch of collabs with wine, and I have extra. Thank the universe. So that's how I watched the episode.
I was going to ask, how you're getting through social distancing and self-isolation. Here,
Doing a lot of baking,
let me virtual cheers you. This is
right?
just some water,
Cheers.
but cheers. Here you go.
Yeah, man.
Uh, so Rose is probably drunk, is what you're saying.
I mean, I'm sure she's had like 8 beers. She's probably like really enjoying just egging everyone on, and that
Yeah,
that last argument is so funny to me.
I love
What a
it.
great script, right? Like, what a rad. I was so happy with that script. I couldn't. Yeah. I mean, I think the heist scripts are always good, but I think that particular one, that was Luke Del Tredici and I think Jeff Topolowski who wrote that script, and I just loved it so much. Tied in so many things for the fans that have been with the show for, since the beginning, but also was totally fun and shenanigan full for people that have not really ever seen the show before, I guess. So I'm gonna keep taking these on and off because that's who I am now. I've graduated to that time in adulthood where it's
it's
like,
that
can I
it's
see
that
now?
hour.
No, this is better.
I was gonna say, those scripts, I think over the seasons they just get like more and more elaborate. So for you guys, when you have a table read for the heist episode, like what's the mood? Or is everyone just like tingling and just like super super
Yeah.
stoked?
I do think it's a little like it's a tingly situation. I mean, we usually get them the night before the table read. This year I was really excited because obviously I got to win, so I was super psyched about it. But it is a little tingly because if you win, if you're going to win the heist, then that means you're probably going to have that long explanation speech at the end.
So more lines is what you're saying. You
Yeah,
get more.
a little more lines. And also, what was really interesting and kind of tricky with Rosa was that, if you look back at the heist, and so, for example, like the year that Gina won the heist and Chelsea Peretti got to give that speech
Yes.
without some of her front teeth, it was so fun and funny because she has all these like crazy levels. So, like, how do you do the heist win speech as a character who's super she's the straight man. She's like
Yep.
super mellow, super low key. Most of her line delivery is really deadpan. So how do you create those ups and downs within that speech? So that was tricky and a little, and sometimes like slightly out of character. I think she got like a little more like, what's the
She was
word?
having fun.
She was mustache twisting. Yeah.
Yes, totally.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
she's absolutely mustache twisting. And she was but I think a lot of people were rooting for her. I saw a hashtag going around,
That was nice.
hashtag Team Rosa. So
That was
people
really nice.
fans really get into these episodes.
Yeah, and honestly, shout out to the social media team at Brooklyn NineNine. Michelle
Yes.
runs our social media at Brooklyn. She does a great job, and she got all the fans super excited about, having their own respective teams. And Team Rosa just happened to be really vocal, I think, because they could smell it. They
Yeah.
knew a win was coming, and I deserved it. So it was really nice. That was really nice.
So I think there might be a little bit of controversy though. Do you think she should be sharing that win with Terry?
The file cabinet, if anyone.
Right? Yeah.
I
But
mean, I
Terry,
guess she couldn't have done it without Terry for sure, but that would mean that every win that Holt had, he has to share with Cheddar. Like,
that's true.
so it becomes like, it's so much of it now is, I guess, like semantics, I guess is maybe the word. Like,
Yeah.
you can't undo the handcuffs, but you can cut someone's hand off to get out of the handcuffs, you know, that kind of stuff. So like
And I
it's
love that.
tricky.
I love that.
The rules change.
Yeah, the rules change, but it's
Mm-hmm.
so like I think I find myself as I rewatch, all the heist episodes. You're kind of looking for the thing, and we can never guess it as viewers.
Audrey,
Like I feel like,
did you rewatch
yeah,
all the Heist
I
episodes?
rewatched all the
Oh
heist. I
my God,
did.
that's so
I did.
nice.
I did. We'll have to talk about favorite ones.
Rad,
But I
yeah.
did want to ask because about this episode, speaking of cheddar, who's the Chonky Pups fan? Because apparently this is a real Instagram
It,
handle.
I don't know. I honestly don't know if it was it made before or after. I don't know when it was. When's the first initial post of the Chonky Pups
I don't know. I'll
Instagram?
have to, but apparently there are these Instagrams that are dedicated to
I feel
like
like it's Luke. It might be our writer Luke, but it could be honestly, it could be any of the writers. And I did say his name wrong earlier. It's Jeff Topolsky, I think. Like,
okay.
but I only
Okay.
know him as Jeff. So, um, but I think it might be Dan Gore. It's probably a joke in the writers' room. Like so many of their weird jokes make it into these scripts.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I vibed with that joke in particular as the mom to
A chunky pup.
an aspiring chonky pup. Yes, I think, and I don't think self isolation is helping at all. When you look back over the seasons, like who do you have a favorite heist episode? Not counting not counting tonight's.
I did really like the year that Gina won. I thought that was so well done, so funny. Chelsea Peretti lisping, it was just an added like. I also loved. I can't remember what season it was. I guess it was 5, maybe the year that 4 or 5, the year of the proposal.
That's my favorite one.
I loved
Yes,
that.
I just
Like how cute are they? Like it was such a sort of throwback sort of moment to like, you know, a lot of the seeds of Brooklyn Nine-Nine come from The Office, Parks and Rec, but
yeah.
it's a different thing on our show, right? And so like a lot of the seeds of it come from those comedies and comedies before, which were like workplace comedies in which these
Sure.
love relationships would happen in the workplace. And
Yeah.
that I thought that was so well done. I thought it was so sweet. It was so loving, and it was shot beautifully. It was so intimate in the what's it called, the evidence room. Like I just loved it. I loved it so much, and it was so. I knew it was coming, and I still like shed a little tear because I love that relationship.
It was really sweet. And I think just like a surprise, like such a pleasant
Yeah,
surprise. Yeah.
yeah.
How are you doing with self-isolation and social distance?
I don't
How's your
know.
wine stash?
I mean, it's running low. She's running low. I think I'm doing okay. Like I've had multiple conversations with friends and stuff that are really eye-opening. Like I think one of the things that happens to or has happened to us all as a human race, but like Americans maybe in particular, and maybe specifically Americans, but it could be all over the world. It's that like what we produce and what we create and how full our calendar is and how much we're getting done in a day and how productive we are has become a sort of that is now equal to how like worthwhile we are as human beings.
Yeah.
And this is forcing us all to really slow down, and I think a lot of us are like, I mean, this isn't comedy, right, what I'm going to say right now, but I think like we're kind of grieving. Like it's a really big moment of grief for the world, for the way things were, for the people who this has affected like terribly. So like I feel alternately like really full of gratitude, and then like, in the next minute I feel like I'm gonna like start crying while I'm trying to, cook something that I've never made before because I rarely cook.
Yeah.
Um yeah, I think it's like this is really weird. But it's one of those, like, it vacillates like every check in with me in 20 minutes, like check
Yeah.
in with me tomorrow afternoon at the same time. I might feel totally different. It's such a weird time.
Are you getting as sick of your own cooking as I am?
Are you sick of your own cooking?
I can't eat it. Yeah, I had to. We had to order something today. It's
What
getting
have you
bleak.
been
It's
making?
getting bleak, man. A lot of carb, a lot of starchy
Like carb
stuff.
heavy. Carb
Yeah,
system
very
either not
very
fucked up.
carb heavy. It's just things that it's when you have the fridge is full and you just
Oh
gotta
my God.
gotta whip something
You're
up.
just
It's
like, what do I make with these broccoli stalks? Yeah, I don't know
exact.
what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing.
Exactly.
Oh,
I have a panini maker. We're firing
gosh,
that up. Not
you're
too
ahead of the
paninis.
game. I
I don't
made
know, but
today. I made
it's
like Bolivian salteñas, which are like these empanadas, like
ah,
little like meat pie kind of things.
that
And
sounds
I was like, I don't need
delicious.
the gelatin. Why do you need gelatin? So it turns out the inside of a Bolivian salteña is a lot like a soup dumpling or something. Like
Oh,
it needs gelatin because it's supposed to like release its juices after you. And it was a slight disaster. Whatever. I'm gonna try again. It's fine.
this is why we have restaurants.
This is why we. This is
This is
why we
why
have
we had
professionals. I
yes,
mean,
exactly.
this is it,
Exactly.
man. I don't know. I don't know. I
Not
was like,
not to bum you out even more, but I know in the Heights it has also been delayed
yes.
indefinitely. But I did speak with John
Wait,
Chu,
wasn't
the
that dramatic
director.
how they wrote indefinitely? I was like, oh my God, way to like dramatize that.
It's a bit of drama. Um,
You talked to John though.
I did talk to John, and he
Yeah.
promised that this would get a theatrical release, that
Yeah.
it demands to be in a theater. But I imagine for you and Anthony Ramos and Melissa and everybody who worked on this and
Yeah.
Lynn, it's a huge bummer. It's a huge disappointment to not be able to share your work with the world. I know
You
how
know what?
excited you were.
Yeah, I think, well, what's funny is like as soon as it started happening, and especially when China started closing its movie theaters, which is very early on, I was like, oh, this might not happen this summer. And that was early. And I think I just kind of thought, well, like, so what's the worst that could happen? Well, the worst that could happen is that the movie never is released. And so that's not a world that we're living in right now.
Mm-hmm.
There's still going to be movies made. People are going to go see movies. We're going to enjoy the theater again. We're going to get to sit in the dark with each other and all laugh at the same story that's being told. It might not be for a while, and it might not be on our sort of schedule that we would like, but I think it's inevitable. I mean, human beings have been telling stories to each other since the beginning of time. And I do agree with John. I think that this movie really deserves a theatrical release. Number one, because of the imagery that John created. I think he's so good at these like stunning, lush, beautiful visuals that really deserve to be seen on a big, big screen. But number two, I think it's really the perfect movie for people to come back to the theater too. So, whether that's this fall or this winter or next summer, whenever it's safe for us to all be in the theater again, I think that's the right time to release it. And like, I'm just excited that it'll be, getting seen eventually.
Yeah.
Eventually it'll get seen. Like, it's the same kind of way that you feel like, or I guess I feel about, movies that I discover that seem like little cult sort of classics or something, and you find this movie and you're like, oh, why didn't I know about this movie? And you feel like the movie changed your life after you saw it. Like, no matter what, people will see this thing that we made, and that's really the most important thing.
Have you talked to any of your cast members from the film, and especially after that announcement?
Yeah, we all were like sort of commiserating and saying like, well, first it was me, my nosy ass, asking and being like, so what's going on? We're gonna delay it, or you know, and then it was like after we got the news that it was going to be delayed a little while, it was all of us saying sort of the same thing, like hyping each other up and saying, no matter what, people are going to see it and see the story we told, and they're going to see it in the right way, and we're all really excited for that. And we, obviously we miss each other because we all thought we were going to have this big reunion this summer, and that's not going to happen for a while. But what's been nice is, there's ways that we can keep in touch with each other, whether it's just like texting each other, seeing each other's, Instagram live stories, which is a really fun and easy way to see people like in their own zones.
Yeah.
I've been loving Dasha's podcast, where she's been interviewing people. I've been texting a little bit with um, Daphne and John and Lynn. And so like, it's been really nice to like keep in touch, even though this weird thing is happening to everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So what are the things that well, my next question is also, did this affect Brooklyn Nine-Nine at all? Or are you guys are done for the
I mean,
season?
we finished shooting season 7. I mean, I don't know if it's going to affect season 8. The reality is, I don't think anybody really knows when we'll all be going back to work. We're scheduled to begin shooting at the end of July, I believe July or August or something like that. So we'll
Okay.
see.
Yeah.
But yeah, nobody has the answers. Everyone's trying to write like articles about it, and like say this, that, and the other. But I really don't know. I have no idea. I
Yeah.
have no idea.
You just know that it's coming. It's
I
gonna
just know that
happen
it's
and
coming. It's
yeah.
gonna happen. I just don't know when. Yeah.
So what are you binging? Now that you have the
Um,
time.
lately I've been binging. Well, so I shamefully have never really watched The Office, and we've been really going hard on The Office. I've watched like a couple episodes here and there. I knew the cast. I obviously
Yeah.
had watched a lot of Angela Kinsey's work because we did a film together. But mostly we've been binge watching. I've been binging Kim's Convenience, which I'm obsessed with. It's
So
so
funny.
good.
So
It's so
funny.
good. And I had met Andrea. I think it's Andrea. Maybe it's Andrea. I had met her in Toronto because we did something at Just for Laughs. And she's so nice. She's so funny. But I had never really watched the show. And so I was like looking around for something fun to watch. And we started binging it. It's so fucking good. We're on season 2. I love it. What else have I been watching? A lot of Botched. I love a Botched episode. Um,
I didn't know you were a
I
botch
love a botched
fan.
episode. Oh my god, I love a botched. I love those guys. They're so funny. Love, love, love Housewives. Love my Housewives Atlanta. Love excited for Potomac to come back. Don't know when that's gonna happen. Beverly Hills starts in a minute.
Yes, Lisa
Um,
Rinna told us actually on our live show that it's
yes.
going to be a shocking season. Shocking.
I love
Shocking.
it. Maybe they'll start fighting again.
You think?
I don't know. They really like each other. Those ladies really like each other, and they're all very wealthy, so they don't have to worry a lot.
Yeah. True. True,
Let's
true.
see, what else have I been watching? Just like sort of like scanning around, watching a lot of Billy Wilder, old Billy Wilder movies.
Oh.
Watched The Apartment last night and the night before. Watched Some Like It Hot, which is surprisingly woke. Billy Wilder, mad props to the woke king. Like he had a lot of like, I mean, The Apartment has like an, a suicide attempt in it, and like it's
Wow.
explored in this like really soft, like interesting way. Some Like It Hot has a lot of really interesting like male gaze talk and like how the male gaze affects women. I mean, I'm like maybe giving it some extra credit, but I think they're really interesting, great movies. Let's see what else. What have you been binging?
Let's see. Well, I watched Tiger King.
Yeah, who hasn't?
Oh, so you watched it?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I
Okay.
watched it. Oh
Oh,
yeah,
what
I watched it.
you think Carol did it? You think?
I mean, listen, the storytelling is interesting the way it all kind of like develops.
Yes.
I think what I'm mostly shocked by is that people were unaware that you can be um gay and a gun toting sort of like poor white member of society somewhere in the United States. I was like really surprised that that was so shocking to people, because I guess because I grew up in the South. I thought the sort of gentle, like light investigation into tiger trafficking was really sad and tragic. The fact that there are so many of them that are in captivity in the US, so many more than are anywhere else in the whole world, and much of that captivity is just like, someone's weird garage zoo or whatever, like that
Right.
was really shocking to me. Yeah, I was like, I was interested in those parts of it. I don't know. Did she kill her husband? I don't know. I mean, she's cuckoo bananas.
Hey, all you cool cats and kittens
All you
watching.
cool cat. Hey, all you cool cats, kittens. That's so perfect. Like,
Oh,
Carol Baskin is a perfect like this is what we're all struggling with right now, which is like everyone and their mother is doing an Instagram live, and some of them are like kind of cool and interesting, and then some of them are a little Carol Baskin-y, you know. I'm
I,
hoping that
I,
I'm leaning on the cool and interesting side.
Absolutely. I will say that show has now inspired me to get a green screen at some point
Oh my god.
installed in my office because I think I'm really trying to step up my production game here, as I'm sure everybody has been trying to
Oh
figure this
girl.
out.
I like
And
cleaned this whole room. I was like, I'm gonna put up like I'm gonna make it look like, I mean, I had like a rack of clothes behind me and I moved them out because I was like, this looks like a closet.
we got we got to clean this up.
Yeah, I gotta
What
tidy it up.
the green screen though, I was very impressed by everybody's dedication to
I mean,
production value
listen,
for.
the reality is that all of those people always knew that they were gonna be stars, and now they are. We've made them
Absolutely.
huge stars. Not one
Right.
of them could ever walk down the street again and hide in plain sight. They will be famous forever. That is the wildest part to me, that these people
Right.
that, like really wanted the limelight somehow, they got it. So crazy.
It's
That's the craziest part to me.
it's mesmerizing. So
It
yeah, they
is
won't be able
mesmerizing.
to walk down the street again,
Oh no.
possibly ever.
Well,
if the,
yeah. Well, the Tiger King definitely not.
not for a while anyway.
Not for
What's
a
the
while.
what's the one thing you are looking most forward to after all of this is over?
Hanging out with my lady friends. I mean,
Mhm.
I think I think a lot of us are feeling the same way, but a lot of us are feeling like we maybe took for granted hangouts with people, one-on-one hangouts or group hangouts, or, oh, I'm too tired. I don't want to go. I'll just see them later.
Yeah.
Um, Sometimes that later is like not accessible to you, not available to you. And I think like dinner party with like ten women, like I can't, that sounds like bliss to me right now. Like just hanging out, drinking wine, talking shit, like we are now, but like in real life, so that I could
Yes.
see you and see all your emotions and see how you react to other people talking, and see the shifts in your body and your breath, and ask you like if you're okay and things like that. It's like
Hmm.
I really miss like seeing my friends one on one and in small groups, and like,
Yeah.
also things like Disneyland. I really miss Disneyland, and like I'm a Southern California resident. I take it for granted that we can just go whenever we want, and it's been closed, very, very seldom in its history, and
Yeah.
it's closed and it's just sitting there waiting for us. And so like that makes me really sad too. 'Cause it's like it literally the happiest place on earth is closed. Like talk about a metaphor.
It's a heavy one.
Yeah.
On that note, are you open to taking some fan questions? If they
Hmm.
have them, I can open up comments.
Let's do it.
And okay, let's
I
see.
love it.
Let's turn
I'm gonna
on
pull up my sleeve.
commenting. Okay, so if you have a question, please go ahead. Lots of love from India. OMG, hey
Aww.
Stephanie. So if you have a question, go ahead and put it in the comments, and I can help vet some of these. I know we
Audrey,
have some
are you
questions.
wearing pants?
I was gonna ask you that actually. That was one of the questions we were
I
gonna.
am wearing
Are
pants.
you wearing pants? I'm wearing a romper, so technically
Nice.
yes,
We love a
yes,
romper.
yes.
I'm wearing like
Um.
a tie dye, like sweaty,
Oh, I like that.
like a sweatshirt, but like it's like a fancy sweatshirt and jeans and slippers.
So someone's asking, how have the rest of the B99 cast been?
They've been good. I mean, everyone's holed up in their homes, obviously. All of us are trying to keep in touch. Every single other member of the cast has kids except for myself. So all of
Mm,
them are homeschooling with their kids all day. They have a huge amount of responsibility. So that's mostly what's been eating up their time. So like mad props to parents. I'm so in awe of all of your work right now because you're doing triple duty most of the time. You're parenting, you're humaning, and you're working for your family. I like that is amazing and incredible, and I don't know how they're doing it. It's awesome.
It's made me change my view of whether I want kids or not, though.
Hundred,
That's a whole.
100%. Yeah, it's really made me think
No
about it.
one's asking me if I want kids now.
Listen,
All that talk was
listen,
shut down real
right?
quick. When did you find out Rosa would win the heist? That's another question we have.
I think it was that week, the week of that table read. I think I heard maybe from Dan Gore that was like, we're thinking about like Rosa winning the heist. I think I heard it around then, and I've been like kind of like, hey, it's my turn, for a while. But I think it was that week, if I can remember correctly. But honestly, like it all is a wash because I pulled up the script to see what my notes were on it. I have it on my laptop over here, but like my husband was like, oh, I remember that day before you shot the big reveal scene and you were so nervous and we were running lines all day. I was like, oh yeah, that's mostly what I was thinking about was just know all your lines, know everything you're supposed to do so you don't slow anybody down. It's a
Yeah.
huge week. We've got tons of extras, we've got tons of guest stars,
Yeah.
tons of stunts.
And that's a long speech that you have to make at the end as
Just
well.
like,
Yeah.
words, like it's like and I think it was at the end of the day also, so like everyone's tired and hot. Those bunny suits were molting. They were all
Oh.
the fur on the bunny suits was like coming off in our mouths and on our eyelashes and stuff. It was a chill vibe. A chill vibe.
Will Rosa get a girlfriend this season? I think that's a
Mm,
great question.
that is a good question. The answer is I don't know. I'm kind of hoping she vacillates like between not I guess that's the wrong phrase. I was gonna say vacillates between men and women, but like really what I hope is that the writers are able to show a little more like in a subtle way of like what it really means to be bi or pan or queer in this particular way, which is like she dates all kinds of people.
Yeah.
I don't think I want it. I don't want it to focus a ton on Rosa's love life, although I think it would be interesting to see, what happens after Jacqueline because like she let this
Mm-hmm.
person into her life in a really big way and that didn't work out. So like, is she gonna put up more defenses? Is she gonna like maybe do the other thing and like date a bunch of people again?
Yeah.
I don't know. But I'm fascinated to see what it'll be like.
Let's take one more here. Oh my gosh, someone said they're currently in London and it's 5:26 a.m. and they stayed up all night.
God bless you, my child.
Someone else is feeling that Disney closure.
Yeah.
Um, oh, so this has been asked a couple times. So, favorite episode of Brooklyn that you've ever filmed?
What a good question. I think honestly, I think this heist was one of my favorites. I think the pilot is probably one of my favorites because it just felt so special and magical, and I didn't know if anything else was going to happen with it.
Mm-hmm.
It just felt like take everything in because this might be the only time you ever get to hang out with Andy Samberg and, Joe Latrulio in a room. I don't know what's going to happen.
Right. For everybody watching too, like pilots are a trip.
Pilots are a trip.
Pilots are a trip from head to toe.
Yeah.
For actors, for writers, for producers, like
Because most of
you
the
just don't
time,
know.
you don't know. If
Mm-hmm.
you're very lucky, you know that it's going to go from pilot to series, but that's very rare. Most of the time, you just sort of make this thing and shoot your shot, and then you have no idea. And so I remember shooting that pilot thinking, like, oh my, like, no matter what, I had shot one pilot before. And with that show, it was like everyone said, oh, this is going to go, this is going to go, your life is going to change. And when it didn't go, I got really depressed. I was like, what did I do wrong? And it took me a long time to sort of go like, nothing. You did a great job. And it just wasn't the right thing for the industry at that time, or like somebody didn't get it, whatever. It has nothing to do with you. It's like a heartbreak. Like, if you get your heart broken after a while, you sort of realize like, well, that wasn't the person for me, but you can't see it right away. But then the next time you fall in love, you might be like, all right, well, I'm just going to throw myself at this, even though I could get heartbroken. Like, but it might be the thing. I don't know. I won't know unless I try. So, like,
Mm-hmm.
that's like shooting a pilot. It's like throwing yourself at someone and sort of trying your best. And then when the pilot does get picked up, like it did with Brooklyn, it was like super magical. But I think, yeah, that week shooting the pilot was week 8 days maybe shooting the pilot was like, I was so nervous every day. I was like trying to be cool every day. It was so hot and weird, and like the set was hot, like physically hot, because we were shooting downtown. We didn't have a set yet. The costumes were weird. Like everything was weird. It was like, was Rosa gonna date Charles? Is that gonna be a thing? Like, what's happening here? You know? And then I think maybe second to that is probably the 99th episode when we were all on that road trip. Because this is one of my favorite memories of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. In that episode, we are all sleeping in sleeping bags on the floor while Jake and Holt have a scene together. And it was really late. We've been shooting all day already, and we're all cuddled in these sleeping bags, and the scene is very quiet, and they're whispering, and all of us fell asleep. Like, everyone that wasn't talking in that scene fell asleep, and it felt like a real summer party. And I think that was probably one of the first times that I felt like, oh, these are like moments and memories I'm gonna have with me forever, no matter where I go, no matter what my career is full of. Like, falling asleep on a set in sleeping bags with a bunch of people that I find funny and charming and wonderful. It's like, that's a special memory. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Hopefully we can have another one of those episodes soon. So you can be next to each other. So we can all be next
Please,
to each other again,
please,
right?
please. I just love to fall asleep in a sleeping bag next to a friend right now. That'd be great.
Well, I'm going to virtual cheers you one more time.
I love it.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
You amazing human genius. Stephanie, thank you for being on the
I'll
Variety
take it.
After Show. So
Hey man,
late,
this was
but
awesome.
this was so fun. I can't wait to see you in person
I know. It
again
was
one
really nice to
day.
see you again.
I know. All right. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah, thanks, y'all.